Well, we do continue, of course, to check in with voters across the country as we get closer to Election Day. And the CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick has been traveling across Ontario. Today, she's in the southwestern city of London. Megan, what are you hearing from voters in that part of the province?
Well, Arthi, we're in the riding of London Fanshawe, and this is a longtime NDP riding. It's currently held by MP Lindsay Matheson. She's held it since 2019, and before that, her mother actually held the riding, Irene Matheson, since 2006. But with the NDP trailing so far behind in the polls in this election, questions have been raised about whether they'll retain the seats they have, whether they'll even retain party status. As you can see in the signs behind me, Lindsay Matheson is running again, but she does have competition from the other parties. And so we've been talking to voters here about how they're feeling about the election, who they want to represent them, and about the question of strategic voting. Are there voters here in London Fanshawe who traditionally support the NDP, but they want to keep the Conservatives out of office and might be placing their support behind the Liberals in an effort to do that? And the answer to that is yes. I have met some people who have told me that. Now, I've been hearing a range of opinions, Arthi. I've met one voter who said she plans on voting Conservative. She thinks it's time for a change in government in Ottawa. I have met some people who say they're voting Liberal, some for the first time ever in their lives. And that is primarily, they're telling me, because of what's going on with the United States and the tariff war, and some saying they feel like Liberal leader Mark Carney is the best leader to guide Canada through these uncertain economic times. And then I have met some loyal NDP voters who are placing their votes there because they believe in the party and its values. Let's take a listen to a little bit of what I'm hearing from some voters.
It's been a hard time trusting the Liberals, but at the same time, I don't know if the Conservatives have what it takes to, especially to stand up to Trump. So I have very hard trust issues. And as much as I would like to say NDP, it's hard to think to who's going to be able to afford some of their platform. I would like my kids to have a future that they don't owe billions of dollars in federal debt. So it's a really tough decision.
I'm not averse to voting NDP. In fact, I align with a lot of their values. But unfortunately, this time I had to place a strategic vote.
People are really torn with what's going on just politically. Our whole country is just really fighting to survive. And I think we really need to just keep strong, but we still have to keep our voice. And for me, that's why we need NDP still. I won't be swayed.
That second gentleman there that said he voted strategically in the early advance polls thinks he's not alone, and that many Canadians might be voting strategically in this election. He said he worries that in this riding, though, that the vote could be split between Liberals and the NDP, and that could favor the Conservative Party candidate in this riding. So that was part of his perspective. I've met other voters, Arthi, who say they are on the fence still, and they keep flip-flopping back and forth, can't make up their minds. I met another gentleman who was wearing a Pierre Poilievre hat. He's not actually from this riding. He lives nearby in Woodstock, Ontario, but he is supporting Poilievre, saying it's time for a change in government as well. Thinks the Liberals had their shot and it's time for someone new. And I've also met some voters today, some people who do not plan on voting. One just expressing cynicism, saying, it's always broken promises with the politicians, and he's given up and he doesn't intend on casting a ballot. But again, others have already cast their ballots in the early voting, others still making up their minds with just a few days to go.
Megan, thank you. That is the CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick in London, Ontario.